canon, so let's start the show. Joe and Jeff got the juice, keep the show on fire. Josh brings the news straight from the source with no desire. The judge, our wise advisor, keeps us in line. Fresh from the comic shop, showcase your design. Ask Joe the comic book ninja for insights to explore. The popcorn gets to know you from straight to the core. I guess I'll have to think, cause I'm we make some freaks. So much more to discover, this show's a hit. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. So let's start this show.
Good evening, Joseph.
I bid you adieu. No, that's goodbye. I'm not good at talking fancy, but we're here tonight for a very special event on Comic Book Canon. We're here to celebrate the achievements of 2024 in the comic book community industry. And we're here to award special moments in time with the most prestigious award, obviously far beyond any other award show that may be going on tonight that no one is watching because they're all here. Currently 11 million viewers watching the Canons.
That's right. It is the Canons, the most prestigious evening in the entertainment industry. Forget what you heard about anybody else. We are here tonight, and we just came up with this idea this morning. So, as you know, we have two other members of Comic Book Canon we'd like to bring in. Joshua, welcome. Dan,
welcome.
Welcome. Good evening, gentlemen, on a very regal evening as well. You both look wonderful. I see you have coordinated your outfits together as well.
We're brothers.
Red,
That's what
black.
You look good, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're brothers. Like 70-year age
enough
gap,
of the chit chat. Let's get to the Canons. We have not had time to create any sort of theme music, but we have three categories this evening for this wonderful, prestigious event. Again, that we call the Canons. Would you look at that beautiful award right there? That award right there was created this morning, and we are very excited to give it away. So I will start off with the first category. Are you all ready for what it is?
Wait.
Go ahead.
Okay, now I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. First category is the best publisher, and the nominees are Marvel, DC, and Image. Gentlemen, do you have the envelopes?
Here.
All right. We didn't even rehearse this. And the winner is Image Comics. That's right. They're doing a fantastic job this past year. 2024 was a marvelous year for Image Comics with the release of the unnamed Jeff Johns and the Ghost Machine, as well as Void Rivals and Skybound with the Energon universe. What a wonderful, wonderful entry into the world of comics, and we appreciate Image Comics very kindly as well. Were some great entries with Marvel and DC, both the absolute and ultimate universes. However, I just feel like Image is doing way more with a lot of other IPs. We're gonna move on to the next one. Go ahead.
I don't get to talk about it. You're stealing the show from me, Kanye.
Sorry.
He's the one wearing the tie. That's why.
I was going to say something that Kanye said years ago, but I'm not going to do it.
Anyway, we're going back to that. Agreed. Image Comics has done things above and beyond the other two publishers in the last, not just year, but last few decades. They've really stepped up and changed the comic book industry, really kept it going in a way that is so impressive for a company that was started by 7 dudes who had never worked in publishing before, just artists and writers. Actually, all artists, really. They kind of broke their writing chops on those first couple of stories and stuff. Images, what's up? Agreed.
I can't disagree, but I have to give a quick runner-up to DC because of their absolute series. They've crushed it without question. They've got everyone's attention again. They were lackluster for the longest time, but they have got a theme that has grabbed everyone's attention, including mine. And I think they're onto something. I think it's going to continue well into this year. Can they keep it going into next year? Well, we'll find out next year.
I agree too with what Dan just said. Honestly, congratulations to Image. I think Marvel did good as always, but DC with their absolute universe right now, kicking it off. They're going to revamp Batman as well, which I'm excited for, and a few other properties. So we'll see what happens this year.
Exactly. I mean, you have, Absolute Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Flash. It's going to be a fun year. They're going to keep that rolling, as well as the Ultimate Universe. Again, you got to give those two publishers props. But again, Image just keeps crushing it. Also with, Radiant Black and that universe as well. All right, we are going to move on to the next category, everybody. Well, again, this is kind of a test point for us in terms of it's a pilot. The canons will probably do it every year on Oscar night. So we have Joshua's taking the lead on this. The biggest news story of 2024. Josh, what do we have?
So I feel like there was, some runner-ups, but the biggest news story would have to be, without a doubt, Robert Downey Jr. returning.
Whoa! We have nominees, fella.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our nominees are
this is a disaster.
Robert Downey Jr.'s return as Dr. Doom, DC's Absolute Universe kicking off, and then we also got casting announcements for great cast in Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan for Green Lantern. And
now, there
our
can only be one winner,
is,
though. Those three nominees are excellent, well deserved, but there can only be one winner, Joshua.
And our winner is Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom. Probably the biggest news that dropped last year. Honestly, it was a huge shock to everybody, and I proved everybody wrong. So, everybody said, hey, the guy's not right. He can't tell news. It's fake. So it's a win. It's a big win for me.
I don't think we admitted to that. However, again, yeah, that was monumental. The announcement of Robert Downey Jr. I can't remember a bigger impact happening in San Diego over the summer in a long time. That definitely is up there with when they revealed the Avengers. Joseph.
Yeah. This was one of the most impactful moments. I mean, I couldn't go on social media, and not just my comic book social media, my personal accounts and stuff like that. I still saw everyone posting about this. It didn't matter if you were, a comic book reader, a casual fan, someone who enjoyed the MCU movies a little bit here and there. Everyone was talking about this, some positively, some negatively. The truth will be told in the next couple of years.
For sure. All right. And for our final category, Joe is going to take the lead on this. I am so sorry.
I know. I didn't bring a tie.
Your Honor, I am so sorry. Go ahead. You just confused me with Josh. You guys both look alike tonight.
We do, yeah. We're both cute. This is how it is. We're good-looking men here. So anyway, there's still a big question mark with not questioning the caliber of the actor Robert Downey Jr., but he's got a huge task to pull this off. We've known him almost 20 years as Iron Man. Now he's taking on a whole new persona, a persona we know and expect is Dr. Doom. Can he pull it off? Yes, he has the caliber to pull it off, but it still remains to be seen. That's going to be a tall order for even such a prestigious actor as Downey Jr.
Agreed. But if there's one man that can do it, we know he can. So very excited to see what they do with that. And finally, Joseph, you're going to take the lead on this final category, which is back issues. Give us the nominees.
So the nominees for back issues, these were specifically back issues that got a lot of hype. Of course, the news really drives the hype, the speculation, the spike of books. And we saw three really great contenders. We got one from Marvel, one from DC, and one from an indie publisher. First up, infamous Iron Man #1, the first appearance of Dr. Doom as Iron Man, not Iron Man as Dr. Doom. This was an interesting one because it came on the heels of the winner of our news story of the year, the Robert Downey Jr. as Doom announcement. This was Iron Man becoming Doom, but this comic, I think a lot of people got confused because there are instances in comics of Iron Man becoming Doom, but for some reason, this was the book that was talked about, Doom becoming Iron Man. little bit weird. But speaking of weird, let's move on to the next book. We got Weird War Tales number 83. This is the first appearance of a team that I don't think very many people cared about, other than, of course, our very own script doctor himself, Dr. Guion. He is a huge fan of Creature Commandos well before any announcement. This is their first appearance, and no one could have guessed this. No one could have said, oh, James Gunn, he's going to do something weird. Maybe Creature Commandos. Nope. Came out of nowhere. This book shot up in value and is still pretty sought after due to the success of the show. Now, the third one here, we got Star Wars, The Clone Wars #1. This has always been a sought after book ever since the the Clone Wars television shows and that timeline in the Star Wars universe, but has astronomically soared in popularity in the past couple years due to, of course, Ahsoka getting her own series, also showing up in other series. These were 3 books that popped, since have come down, are a little bit more affordable now, of course. But one of them takes the cake, and that's the head scratcher of them all, the one that we didn't see coming, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. That took the cake for the news. It's taken the cake for best back issue. Definitely a head scratcher. Doesn't even relate at all to what is going on in the MCU. But this book went from being, a decent $5 or $10 book to 9/8 selling for hundreds of dollars.
Indeed, what a little bit of hype and a cool looking cover can do. Not surprised there, though, with all of the speculation and again, people just hyping it up on the internets. Let's go to Dan De La Torre. Your thoughts on that winner right there? Maybe even the nominees.
No surprise that that's on the list here and has won this year's award. What is a surprise is a Star Wars book. I've talked to countless Star Wars fans over the years. They are so fed up. They are so frustrated with what has been produced by the Star Wars franchise. Yes, this is a fine book and a fine series, but again, they're hoping that, I don't know if Josh is going to talk about this, the president or Kathleen Kennedy, rather, who's been in charge of that, is stepping down apparently later this year. That's high hopes for people in the Star Wars community because she has had a direction that people haven't really appreciated. I can relate to that as a Star Trek fan. There's nothing to relate to in the Star Trek world. The same frustrations are true in the Star Wars franchise, and they're hoping for better times. Again, I'm surprised this is on the list, and we'll just hope that they can do better moving forward.
Joshua.
Yeah, it's, no surprise that Infamous Iron Man is up there. Funny story, I was at the Philadelphia Comic-Con day with Joe. I literally bought that same book for $10 from a vendor, and he now has it on his wall for like over $60. He had 2 copies of it. So no surprise there. But also it's because of my announcement. So to anybody who's making a little bit money off that book, you're welcome.
You do move the needle every once in a while because of the clout that you have, the news you deliver, and people listen. So that is an absolute fact. Everybody, that right there ends the 2024-25 Cannons. We will have a better produced show next year. We won't think of it the day of. But everybody, please give yourselves a round of applause for dressing nicely. All right, so we're going to get into the regular parts of a regular show. How about that? No show is regular, though, because we are the most popular show on YouTube. That is extraordinary is what that is. So,
Jeff,
Your Honor, Dan, Joshua will see you in like literally a minute, but we have to get to one thing real quick.
Jeff,
and that
the
is...
Oscars are over, so I can take my clothes off, right?
Yeah, that was the plan for you, just you.
Just me, right?
Yeah, go for it. You just wanted to show off your tattoos. We get it. You have tattoos. We understand. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 216. That's right. We've done 216 of these things. And it's also it's the Cannons, but it's also episode 216, as I said, and this is the featured episode issue. It is Flash number 216. In this issue, the Flash confronts his old foe, Mr. Elemental, who has reverted to his criminal persona due to a mysterious curse linked to the Dragon's Eye constellation. The Flash battles Mr. Elemental attacks, including being transformed into neon gas, but ultimately helps Desmond overcome the curse's influence. Also, a backup story featuring Kid Flash, aka Wally West, encountering dimension-hopping aliens at his college orientation, leading to a daring rescue of abducted faculty and students. Everybody, you know what's cool about this cover is it's Neil Adams. I didn't know Neil Adams did a bunch of Flash covers, but this is one of them. Obviously, we as I mentioned, Face Off versus Mr. Elemental. Writer Carrie Bates, and the artist is Dick Giordano. So Joe, that is not a bad issue right there. A little late Silver Age book.
Early bronze, but I'll forgive you for that
That's fine.
mistake.
It's 72, I think it said.
Yeah, so early bronze. Yeah, I love comic book covers that have, like an action shot on the front that actually show like motion. Lot of great artists do it. I've mentioned Jorge Jimenez on this show before. Neil Adams killing it on this cover.
So a good pick is what you're saying.
Yeah, an awesome pick.
Fantastic. All right, we're going to move quickly into the news. Actually, by the way, we have a newsletter. You all should join that newsletter because you can get a condensed version of the canon each and every week. And click on your favorite segments as well. It's super easy to read, digest, and again, if you can't watch us live, this is the second best way of doing so. So catch up, subscribe to the newsletter. The link is down below. Let's get to it, though. We got the news.
Just delivers the news and rumors.
Josh delivering the news and rumors as he does every week. Josh, you still feeling prestigious? You look nice.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep it going.
All right, everybody, we'll keep it going. So knowing that, please like and subscribe to a channel that's just going to keep it going because that's what we do. We're very subpar and we keep it going. That's not true. We are extraordinary. Josh, there is a lot of news that we have to get to. I feel like we're saying this more and more every week. It's not getting redundant because this news is very important, but we got a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yeah, so let's just jump into it. On Monday, DC Studios released a ton of news. There's a lot that I left out that we might have to cover eventually again, but let's just start off. My Adventures with Green Lantern, which will be an animated series, will follow a high school student, Jessica Cruz, who will end up with the Lantern ring, and we will get to see her and how her life becomes as a Green Lantern. I'm excited for this. I think Jessica Cruz is a great different character for the Lanterns and could really bring it into, so, hey, men can look at Hal Jordan or John Stewart. Young women can get into Green Lantern with Jessica Cruz. So this will be a good show that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I like that they are focusing on Jessica Cruz, but in the high school years. So that'll be interesting as well. Although I do believe there was a cartoon out before this that preceded this where she was in high school or maybe elementary school. I think my daughter was watching that at one point. But moving on the topic of DC and animation, and we don't stop there, do we, Joshua?
Nah, so we got I've got another show. It's DC Superpowers, which I believe is not going to be canon to the DCU. We'll have to see if this happens. But it takes place with a school that has heroes and focuses on new students. Like Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra, who are trying to level up the powers under the supervision of Principal Martin Manhunter. So again, I don't think this is going to be a DCU. I think this is going to be more like an animated, like Harley Quinn type show that has their own thing going on. And I'll probably end up watching it. I think it sounds cool.
Yeah, and by the way, But searching for an image that could go along the superpowers, I found these really cool covers that came out in 2024. These variant covers. That's not an actual figure. I mean, it looks like it, but it is Nightwing as a superpowers figure. It's very cool looking. So just wanted to make that mention of that. I can't remember what issue that is specifically, but y'all seen those action figure variants before. And finally, let's wrap things up with this animated festival here.
Yeah, so we're getting another animated show, surprise, surprise, but it's going to be set with Starfire. It's going to serve as an original story where she is going to discover her powers on her home planet and discover her origin. Something that I believe might be DC DCU canon. We'll still have to see exactly how Gunn wants to fit this in. But you know what? Animation looked great with Creature Commando, so I have high hopes for all these properties.
Oh, wait, the Honorable Dan De La Torre is showing off his first appearance, what he has for Starfire right there.
Quick story, not a very good one, by the way. I made the Comic-Con list by buying this comic, and this is at a time of speculation about 3 years ago. I overpaid, so much so that I got the attention of the Comic-Con show, so I became famous, not in the right way. So, yeah.
You're
infamous.
like $500. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You should not have said that. But still a nice book to have in your collection. We'll see a little bit, Your Honor. All right. That wraps up the DC animated news, but there's actually some news. There's a little bit more we got going on with DC. What do we got?
Yeah, so a little while ago, Swamp Thing was originally announced a few years ago when James Gunn announced his plans to be running the DCU, and it will move forward with James Mangold is ready. The ball is in his court. He's supposed to be working on a Star Wars film as well, and he's going to be making a decision in the next few months, rather which film he wants to work on first. So I'm excited for this. I think Swamp Thing is an underrated character a little bit, and I'd like to see this, rather than be a movie or a show, hopefully live action. But if it's animated, hey, that's fine too.
We'll take it. I bet you it won't be, though. By the way, it's nice. Those are good props to have for me. I do Star Wars or DC. I'm not quite sure. But this is a character with a cult following, and very excited to see it on the big screen. Joseph, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I love Swamp Thing. I love the horror elements of all the horror related characters. This is something I'm very stoked about. We've gotten some Swamp Thing content in the past, and for the most part, it's been pretty decent. So I'm hoping that they can, not only put out some good Swamp Thing, media, but also weave him more in with the other characters. And I'm still crossing my fingers for the Justice League Dark.
Justice League Dark would be fun. And there was rumor that was going to happen. This is way before Gunn and Saffron, but maybe the next story will suffice for you, Joe. I don't know. Josh, will let him know.
Well, this next story might actually be able to help our Judge Dan get some of his money back. So James Gunn confirmed that a Teen Titans film is in development. I didn't put her last name, but Anna, the woman who actually worked on the script for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, as well, wrote that with Tom King. She was writing in the script, and Gunn says they're very pleased with her script, and she's very passionate about it, and they're currently working away on it. So Teen Titans is in development, and expect to be seeing that in the next couple of years as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. I would, again, personally love to see this as well. I'm sure Dan would too. Maybe he could offload that book there. But again, this is another, not a cult following in the way of Swamp Thing, but definitely a big following, especially with the way what Cartoon Network has put out content in collaboration with DC and has made these kind of heroes like more niche in a way. But we'll see what kind of iteration they'll put on the big screen. I would imagine it's something closer to what they had on Max. And our final DC news story, Joshua.
So this thing got me hyped, man. This picture, it's a simple picture, but I don't know. It's got me excited for this, really. So we got our first official look at Jon Stewart and Hale Jordan. And, some people are upset because they like just two regular dudes walking. But this story has already been, confirmed that it's going to show the origin of these two. Hale Jordan is almost into retirement. It's already been confirmed that he's getting ready to retire, supposedly, in the story. Pass on the mantle to his young rookie over here, which is John. And I love the look because you can see that Hale is, retired, almost old veteran, seasoned. And you got Jon Stewart, who looks just kind of cocky and, confident and everything. And I don't know if you got the other picture, but down below at the hand, you can actually see the ring. And it looks great.
Made a mistake. I was going to do that. But yes, on our right, looking at Hal Jordan, there is a ring there, and it is absolutely a lantern ring. So look up online. You can definitely see it there. Very subtle, but it's there, and I'm very excited for this for sure. Exactly what you're saying, Josh. Like, it's showing again a Hal Jordan that's looking a little bit haggard, and
He's
a
been
guy,
through it a little bit.
Gardner, John Stewart, that is looking very confident and competent, and excited for him to get a ring. Don't see a ring on his finger just yet.
No, it might be. I mean, depending on because
Sure.
technically, you can't see it, but we'll have to
All
see.
right, we are going to move on to 2 pieces of MCU news, but before we do that, please like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Why haven't you done so? Joshua, this one's interesting.
Yeah, so this is exciting too because there's a lot of possibilities. So, could Shaggy potentially be joining Marvel's Daredevil? We'll have to see because Matthew over here has been confirmed in Daredevil season 2, which just started shooting last Friday. There's a lot of rumors going around who he may be. Obviously, I think he's going to be a villain. We'll have to see what happens. But this is a great announcement, and knowing that season 1 kicks off on Tuesday, and hey, season 2 will be getting some time next year, so we'll have to see what happens. Rumor is from the picture, yes, Slopeman could potentially be it. I believe it's Mr. Fear, who I think is a villain of Daredevil, I'm not mistaken, but we'll have to see what happens.
All right. I think it'd be badass if Stiltman was somehow incorporated into the MCU. We shall see. Joe, considering that Daredevil is the best thing you think Marvel has ever put out, I think you said it that way, or maybe best show. I'm not quite sure. First off, I'm super excited for this to come out on Tuesday. But Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the way I see this happening is, Matt Murdock, Foggy, Karen, they're all hanging out at Nelson and Murdoch, their law office, and they're getting some preliminary work done and stuff. All of a sudden, the door smacks open, and in walks this guy. He's a little bit disheveled, kind of looks like he hasn't gotten a haircut, a little bit look shaggy looking, and he's he comes in, he's panting, and he's like, obviously like in distress, and they're like what, can we help you? What's going on? He goes, like, guys, oh, my mystery machine, I need help. So obviously this is Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. This is not.
So what you're proclaiming is this is the first crossover ever in the MCU.
Yes,
with Scooby-Doo IP. And any sort of Marvel character.
Just, I need to apologize real quick because I can't do impressions whatsoever, so I couldn't do the Shaggy impression very well. That was even worse than mine. That being said, this is very clearly a crossover. We're going to get James Gunn back in the helm over at Marvel. He's going to leave DC. He's going to, introduce Scooby-Doo into Daredevil, and it's going to be Scooby-Doo in the Multiverse of Madness next.
That's good. Very good. I'm going to leave it at that because you can't get any better than that. Other than this piece of news, this is actually, this news is better than what you just broke, Josh or Joe. I mean, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. So we know that Punisher is returning in this new season of Daredevil. Well, guess what? John Bernthal, who is actually the actor, is also developing a Punisher special presentation for Disney Plus. So the other special presentation that we got was, I believe, Man-Thing, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
so,
it was Werewolf by Night.
Oh, Werewolf by Night, my bad, but Man-Thing was in there. So yeah, we're gonna get a special presentation of the Punisher. I'm thinking it's gonna probably end up being a movie. Maybe we'll have to see if we get a show out of this. But you know what? I'm ready for it. He looks great in the trailer. I heard he does great things in the new season of Daredevil as well. And just to have Frank Castle back and doing his thing and punishing people, we need that in the DCU. Oh, sorry, MCU. My bad.
Yeah, that'd be
multiverse is slipping here a little bit.
That'd be another interesting crossover. Joe, your thoughts?
Who doesn't love the Punisher? Who doesn't love John Bernthal as the Punisher? This goes right hand in hand with Daredevil. Absolutely killed it in Netflix. Has just been great. I don't think I've ever seen John Bernthal in something that wasn't phenomenal. From Shane and Walking Dead to Punisher to more minor supporting roles and stuff like that. Just A+ actor. I can't wait for this. I really like the idea of Marvel doing the special presentations and the Marvel spotlights, which was, Echo was the first Marvel spotlight, they said. I hope they continue to do stuff to flesh out other characters that they may bring in to, the bigger universe eventually. It just gives us some great content on these great characters that doesn't necessarily have to link in.
No, for sure. Again, Barenthal, he is the Punisher. And again, the thing that we love with these actors and also the creators of the shows, the ones that have the passion about the IP, that have grown up loving it, usually do the best. And he embodies that. He loves the fact that he's writing this. Again, he so excited for this. More of these specials too. I think there have only been 2 specials. It's the Christmas special with Guardians and Werewolf by Night. So we shall see. But right there, people, that ends the news. Joshua
delivers the news and rumors.
cut it too early, didn't I, Josh?
You did. 2 quick things. One, there's a lot of news that didn't get covered. And so I just want to say that, we lost a great in the world last week. Hugh Jackman. Gene Hackman passed away, known for many roles, but to a lot of us as Lex Luthor, sadly passed away. So, thoughts and prayers and stuff go out to him and his family. Huge loss there. I don't know if you two want to touch on that real quick.
Yeah, definitely, a tragedy. Obviously, there's a lot of information that hasn't come out about the situation, not just him, but his wife and one of their dogs also passed away. Terrible situation. Gene Hackman had kind of been gone from the spotlight, for a while, had retired from acting and was kind of just living out his retirement. But man, I mean, his work spans decades and obviously touches on our hobby with the Superman movies. I think he's in multiple of them, correct?
He's in 3.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, 3 of them. Wow. Yeah. This is terrible loss, obviously. And our best goes out to his family.
Yeah, again, a phenomenal actor. And a sad situation. He was my first introduction to him was as Lex Luthor. So for a while, he was the only Lex Luthor I knew. Until I started reading the comic books. But again, movies like Hoosiers, such an accomplished and amazing actor. So again, sad to see him pass the way he did, but what an incredible life he had. So we'll leave it there. So Joshua, we are going to bring you back in. And
one more thing. There was some big leaks over the weekend from Marvel. I want to confirm that if you know these leaks, I can 100% confirm that they're legit. Take the information as you will. It is concept art. Will we see it play out in future films? Who knows? If it does, it kind of stings a little bit because there are some stuff that you would want to be surprised about. Yeah. But we'll maybe touch more about that next week. If not, we might just, try to forget it happened and see what happens.
We're not going to forget it happened because it's not going to go away.
No.
There are characters shown that are like, okay.
Yeah.
So again, take that as you will. We just don't want to put that on here right now, especially with the way that Marvel is responding to it. Not to say that we're scared because we are valuable to them, but it's the right thing to do to kind of also keep everybody out of the loop, because that's how I want to see the film, but it's really hard to do these days. So Joshua, well done as usual. We'll get back to you by the end of the show. Everybody, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. We are going to do a wonderful segment that we call Ask Joe. So get those questions in right now. Get those in. Start thinking them out. Start typing them out. We will answer those questions. Ask Joe and Jeff. But before we do, why don't we say hello to people like Caleb Leland, who celebrated a birthday with a taco pizza this past week. Thanks for sharing that. We got Dr. Guion. Wow, Joe left. We got Dr. Guion. I don't know why Joe left. Joe, why'd you leave, buddy?
I didn't leave. I'm still here. I'm just undercover.
Oh, okay. Why did this stop playing?
It's super secret.
Oh, okay, I can't wait. Anyways, we got Derek Neiman, we got Steve Bradley, we have Dr. Immortal Scruffy is in the house. Everybody, by the way, seriously wish Caleb Leland a happy belated birthday. Kate's Comics here as well. Dr. Plagueis Bond.
Paul Bond.
Well done. Is here as well. Spud Comics. Did we see you last week? I guess we did not. Nice to see you this week, though. Josh's Comics is actually here, believe it or not. Dan De La Torre is here as well. Blue Garland. I love the Andor writing treatment for Star Trek. That would be dope. By the way, we haven't even mentioned that amazing new Andor trailer that's coming out in April. Very excited for that. Who else do we have? Gabby D. My lady is watching the other award show, which is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. Kaboom Comics in the house. Nori Jordan in the house. Heroes Reborn. Hello. 360, you're here too. We got a full cast and crew. We are loving it as well. So much fun indeed. What is going on here? Somebody has a live question for Joe as well. Joe, can I bring you in now? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. I meant to put it back. Sorry. My bad. I'm here.
Wow, you left me all alone. All right, everybody. Again, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. We still don't have a popcorn. We have to get together to figure out who our next popcorn nominee is because somebody dropped the ball. We are not going to name names, but we should. Each week, we have a new this is the second week in the row we are airing this segment. Each week, though, we do a pick of the week with an original new song. I've heard people say these songs are bangers. That's right. Here is our pick of the week for New Comic Book Day on March the 5th, this Wednesday.
It's the comic book canon pick of the week. Make no mistake, it's not for the meek, but let's get to this week. Back to the past, to the Jedi way, where the galaxy's fate is shaped each day. Qui-Gon Obi may stand tall, but a shadow is rising to challenge them all. Feel the force, the battle's near. New Jedi rise, but so does fear. Mark's got the lore, the vision's tight. Metabates art makes the sabers strike. Prequel vibes with the story so bold. A Star Wars tale just waiting to be told. A villain lurks, the danger's real. The Jedi stand, but fate's on a wheel. If you love legends, if you want lore, jump into this, it's Jedi War.
That's right. It is Knights of the Jedi #1, which is taking place along the prequels. You'll get Qui-Gon, you'll get a Padawan Obi-Wan, you'll get Yoda. Mark Guggenheim is actually writing this very first issue, so that's pretty exciting too. It looks good. I'm excited to pick this one up myself. So again, we will highlight a pick of the week each week with an original new song. So have fun with that, everybody. And if you want a genre of song, let us know for our pick of the week. Please. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Although Mark is saying that was AI. That was me singing. No, it wasn't me singing. However, my vocals are on the show open, by the way. Those are mine.
True.
But yeah. All right. Moving on. We do a segment each and every week. You have questions. Joe answers them sometimes.
Ask Joe. Ask Joe. Ask Joe. Joe. Ask Joe. Whoa! And Jeff.
All right. It is the Cannons tonight. That's right. A prestigious night as well. But there's another award show going on. Smaller scale, I would say. Right, Joe?
Yeah, not as big as the Cannons, but
No.
yeah, I heard it's the Omars, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The Omars. Wait, time out. What is this, Mr. De La Torre?
Oh, I just had a nomination for the Oscar nomination for comics.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That's so weird. Have fun with that, though. We'll see you in a bit. All right, let's get to the question though. Ask Joe, what do you have for best picture tonight?
So I just actually, when I saw that could pop up, I was like, oh, I don't even know what's up for best picture. And I Googled it. I have seen 0 of those movies.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
I know. I haven't seen Dune Part 2 yet. I haven't seen Wicked. The movie that I actually would most like to see, that's what I'm going to do based upon the previews that I've seen and stuff like that. The movie that is nominated that I would most like to see is A Complete Unknown. As a, someone who's, a musician myself and someone who's been involved in music, and I'm not even much of a Bob Dylan fan. I respect what he did, but it's not really my thing. Just his story and the story of the people around him really make that movie really it's intriguing to me. Not only that, but my favorite actor, Edward Norton, is in the movie, so that definitely helps it as well.
Yeah, I've only seen one of them, which was Wicked, which was good. I never saw Wicked on Broadway, so I knew what it was about, but I didn't know to the extent it was about, how much, and I don't think this is a spoiler, how much they lean into the Wicked Witch before she's the Wicked Witch in terms of just turning things upside down. And I really loved that. I thought everything was so well done production-wise.
Yeah.
But I do want to see that Bob Dylan film as well. I want to see all of them. I used to be so into the Oscars. I don't know what it is. I cannot.
Yeah.
I just have not been able to get into it the past few years.
Should you and me have a slumber party and watch A Complete Unknown?
Yes, actually. Can we eat popcorn while we're watching in our sleeping bags?
I'd prefer nachos. But
yeah, oh, that's great. That's great. We can do that for sure.
Right,
I'm in. Let's do it. Whose house?
Well, I'm coming up to New York next week, so I'll stop by yours.
Great. You said you were moving in here anyways, and I'm
right
down in the basement. That's another long story. We'll update you a little bit later. Mr. De La Torre has a live question for everybody. Get your questions in now. Also, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Mr. Dan De La Torre, please ask questions.
Joe, I'm not certain how to phrase this because I stopped collecting in the mid 90s. And the reason why is I've said many times the stories went away from me, the artwork went away from me, the originality. I surround myself with, silver, Bronze Age keys that are just wonderful to have and great stories, and they're all going up in value. All right. So, but I go to comic stores like, I'll shout out one, A1 Comics in Sacramento. The majority of the back issues are, the size of my house, with stuff from the 90s, 2000s, and today. They did the foil art in the 90s and early 2000s. And then they did, and they're still doing endless variant covers. I can't think of one that really stands out and has gone up in value or is even memorable to this day. And again, I'm at a loss because I stopped collecting. Now, the ones I have, because again, silver, bronze, and copper are still going up in value slowly, but they are going up in value, and they're all memorable. Even ones that used to be filler comics, that because of their age and the style and approach. Is there, maybe this is an unfair question, is there one or two that stand out for you over that long time span from the mid 90s to today, whether as a foil cover or variant, or are they just sort of like, in a giant void? Because again, when I go to stores like this, I don't sift through those. What would you look for if you were to go through those giant bins and say, hey, I'm looking for this one here, this one stands out?
No, this is a great question. There certainly is a lot of modern stuff that does have and retain value, as well as, increase in value over time. Typically, as far as modern stuff, it has everything to do with who the cover artist is. Think about, Dell'Otto variants, certain Dell'Otto variants. Djurjevic, someone just put in the chat. Derek said the Ultimate Fallout 4 Djurjevic variant. That's less because of the cover and more because it's a 1 in 25 variant of the biggest modern key. But there are so many collectors out there that collect Adam Hughes, J. Scott Campbell, Alex Ross. Most of the value of modern comics come from that. also going back to the whole variant discussion, which, you know, I'm not a huge fan of variants, but the fact that they make variants, that is one thing that is keeping the comic book industry alive. Being able to sell more copies of essentially the same book with a different cover brings more money into the comic book industry, to the publishers, to the comic book stores, and that is definitely helping keep that alive. So variants aren't all bad. You know, that's something I always like to say. Yeah, sure. Do we need, you know, 17 copies, 17 different covers of a book, you know, that starts at a new number one? Probably not. But variants can be cool. People like to collect them. People like certain artists and seek out their variants. And you know, there certainly are ones that will stand the test of time, but most will not.
That's a great question for sure. And there's still gimmicks in the industry as well. Not as much as there were in the 90s, but the gimmicks are still here. The foils, the lenticulars, they have a foil glow variant coming out very soon, which is a comic book we'll talk about in this segment in a few questions. But yeah, it's still there. People definitely still collect them. I couldn't tell you though either what sticks out. So you know, Joe definitely has a better handle on that. All right.
I'll say this, you know, as someone who does sell comics, does, you know, buy collections. I went to a con yesterday. The only raw modern books that I bought were Adam Hughes and what was it? Adam Hughes, Peach Momoko, and Art Germ variant covers. Only modern raw books. I also bought 2 J. Scott Campbell slabs as well. So
see, that's kind of where I was going with that. Journos did a piece on this several months ago where he said a large majority of the stuff in some certain collections, nobody wants to buy them. They just sit on the shelf because, you know, the value doesn't justify the purchase.
Sure. Yeah,
definitely. And Josh is right. A lot of these have 50 variants, which is absolutely insane. That's a little out of hand. But at the same time, it's like, pick your poison here because it does help keep the industry afloat. So just keep it. Think about that. Anyways, Your Honor, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, moving on. We got more questions, more amazing questions. Let's get into Kate again. Ask Joe if you could go back and nominate any comic movie for a Best Picture Oscar that didn't get a nom, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know if this got a nomination, but there are 2 movies that really stand out to me, and it's very hard for me to choose between them because one I consider to be the best comic book movie of all time, best comic book adaptation, and one is my favorite comic book adaptation. My favorite being The Crow. The best one, in my opinion, V for Vendetta. I don't know if either of them ever got nominated. I really doubt The Crow did. It's more of a cult classic, but V probably didn't either. I don't think so. But I would be very stoked on either one of those getting, you know, that kind of mainstream recognition.
I'm gonna go old school because I was super young when I saw it, and I thought it was the most amazing film. Was Batman, the '89 version. You got to admit though, Jack Nicholson's performance was Oscar worthy for sure, and it was something kind of like you never saw something like that. I don't believe so. I'm gonna go back to that.
It's valid. That's valid.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Please like and subscribe if you have not done so already, because we're gonna have a question coming from our very own Josh's Comics. Ask Joe and Jeff as well. What character or team would you like to get a Marvel Spotlight or special presentation?
Oh man, this is a great one. And it kind of goes really well with you know, what we've seen already. More of the, you know, we got the Man Thing and Werewolf by Night show. I would love to see something more on the macabre side. So either a Legion of Monsters or Midnight Suns.
Ooh, yeah. Anything Ghost Rider. Yes, I'm gonna go with that as well. Anything Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider was part of both of those teams.
Yeah, so I'm there with you as well. So that knocks both of those questions out. Derek, ask Joe and Jeff, what, if anything, are you looking forward to in the new volume of Amazing Spider-Man?
What am I looking forward to? Hopefully a conducive story. I mean, we've had some rough years as ASM readers, so yeah, we can only hope for some some better stories.
I've stopped reading Amazing Spider-Man. I read Ultimate Spider-Man. That's pretty much my Spider-Man intake. Unfortunately, it's my, Spider-Man's my favorite character. I don't even know what this new iteration's all about. I don't know what direction they're taking it in. I'll look into it. But yeah, as Joe said, something that is cohesive, that keeps you on the edge of your seat. I want something that makes me feel like I felt when I read Spider-Man as a kid. And also, I would love if they just kept it going and not start with a new volume. I would love for that.
Go back to issue 1. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're going to hit up. Actually, we're going to skip. Derek has another question. We'll get to him in a second. Jordan, ask Joe, what is the show you'll be attending closest to Vermont?
As of right now, the closest one to Vermont that I'm thinking for 2025 would be the 3 Men in a Basement comic book swamp, which I believe is June this year, May or June. I forget exactly. But yeah, I would love to see you. Actually, I met Jordan for the first time at that show last year.
Oh, God, that was a year ago?
Came down for the day. Yeah. Almost a year ago.
Wow.
So yeah. Love to see people come out to that. That's up in Connecticut.
Maybe I'll go to that too. All right, Derek, again, ask Joe, Jeff and Joe, will Hush be any good? I'm going to bring Josh in here as well to answer this question. I'm going to go with what I said this a few weeks ago. I think Hush is overrated, especially the way it ends. I'm not a huge fan of Hush. I don't really know what to think about Hush 2, to be honest with you. I have no idea, actually. Let's have Josh answer this next.
Go for it.
My signal. So I honestly think Hush 2 will be good. Actually, from what I understanding too, is the reason why they're resetting Batman 1, we have no idea why that's happening. Hush 2 is going to play into that, supposedly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I felt like Hush, the first one, was great. I know some people felt like the ending, typically that guy. Just point to that guy.
Hey.
Yeah.
You're pointing the wrong way.
Yeah, I meant to point to the baldy across from you.
Which one of us? Also, that's a slur.
The older looking, living in mom's basement one.
Joe. Yeah.
So I feel like I think it's going to be good. I think, it's been a long time. They probably looked at the pros and cons and listened to feedback from the last time they did it, which has been almost 10, 15 years since they did Hush 1? Or maybe 20 years? When did that come out? Early 2000?
20?
It was it was before 2010.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 2003?
Well, we can find out real quick.
Regardless, it's been probably at least 10, 15 years. I'm sure they're taking feedback from that time, and I think it's going to be good. So, yeah.
Joe, what are your thoughts while I look this up?
I've got faith, man. I've got faith. I like the Hush storyline. I like the character Hush. I like what's been going on with Batman in the films. I'm my opinion here. I'm all about this.
Okay, so it was 2002 when it came out, so that's 23 years ago. It ran for it was over 12 issues, so 2002 to 2003. So I do like the character Hush, and I was really intrigued, but I just fell flat that ending. They didn't bring it home for me. So I'm very underwhelmed. But now that you say that it's going to lead into why they reboot it, I'd say, and it interests me a little bit more. Josh, that's what you said, right?
Sure.
No. Huh? So this is a continuation of that story. This is Hush 2, Part 2. It's a sequel. But what I'm saying is supposedly the ending of this will somehow reboot it into Batman 1. So I don't know what that means.
That's what intrigues me.
How it play out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what intrigues me. So I basically said the same thing you said, but you corrected yourself by saying
I thought you were saying that the new storyline we're getting was a complete reboot. My bad.
No. Please apologize. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm intrigued, but I don't have. Well, I'm intrigued, and I love Jim Lee's artwork. Who doesn't? So we'll see. So Josh, we'll have you back.
Man. Come on, one of the best Batman writers ever.
Anyways, moving on. Our last question for Ask Joe and crew. Caleb Leland. I've been toying with the idea of getting a couple of the BCW plastic comic storage boxes. Does anyone have an opinion one way or the other?
I love them. I have some of my personal collection in them. I also use them for slabs that I take to shows. They do have short boxes for Raws, long boxes for Raws, and slab boxes. They fit, everything fits really nicely. Everything works really well. They're surprisingly durable for being plastic. I've banged mine around for, some of them I've had for years at this point, taking them to conventions and stuff. And they're pretty solid. That being said, they're kind of a pain to put together, but once it's together, it's good to go. Every once in a while you want to smack it and tighten it up a little bit because it kind of snaps together. But big fan of them. And yes, what Derek said as well, they interlock for stacking, which makes it really a nice, neat, orderly stack. And if you bump it, it's not, one's not going to like slide off the top. So that's great.
I think that answers the question. I don't own any myself, but everybody here seems to love them universally. So, all right, with that, we're going to end this segment we call
Ask Joe, Ask Joe, Ask Joe, Joe, Ask Joe, whoa, and Jeff.
All right, here we go. Like and subscribe if you have not done so already, because we're about to ramp up into the final leg of this prestigious show that we call Comic Book Canon, the yearly event that we have called the Canons. But this next segment is called Did You Know? We bring this up, little tidbits that you may not know about the comic book, the history of comic books. And this one in particular is interesting. I think a lot of people know about how Robin died, Jason Todd, but I don't think a lot of people know that there was maybe one person that was responsible for it. Let's check it out.
Did you know one person may have rigged Robin's death vote? Most comic fans know that in 1988, DC made a bold move. They put Robin's fate in the hands of the readers. In the now infamous Death in the Family storyline, Jason Todd was left at the mercy of the Joker. And DC set up a real-time telephone vote where fans could decide if Batman's sidekick would live or die. For 36 hours, fans called in to cast their votes. And when the dust settled, the results were shockingly close. Just 72 votes made the difference. Jason Todd was gone. But here's what most people don't know. There's a rumor that one person may have rigged the vote. Batman editor Denny O'Neil later revealed that DC suspected a single fan programmed their computer to dial the Kill Robin number hundreds of times, possibly swaying the final count. Of course, there's no hard proof, but imagine if just 73 people had voted differently. Jason Todd may have never died and never become the Red Hood. So, what do you think? Was the vote fair, or did one fan change comic book history forever? Let us know in the comments. And one more thing, if we're being honest, Jason Todd as Robin was such a little shit.
I mean, he was.
True.
Let's be, he
True.
was. But
True.
the fact that they suspect that somebody rigged the lines right there, it's a big deal. And that's something that I really didn't know about until weeks ago. So, no proof. However, that's kind of like, it just adds more kind of intrigue into the whole process that they took in killing off a character.
Yeah, it's such a cool concept that they left it up to the reader, and they killed him, and just the character in general. Like, honestly, you read the character when he was Robin, he kind of stunk, but as Red Hood, been awesome. That was such a great way to deal with things, and then to bring him back so long later, love it.
Yeah. By the way, rumor has it years later, Denny went on to rig American Idol votes. Denny never rigged the votes, by the way. I think he was like editor in chief or something like that. So Denny O'Neil definitely had nothing to do with that. Best thing Jason Todd did as Robin was die. So I'm okay with this. So basically, Dr. Guion is looking at this guy like he's a hero. So, okay. But again, a really cool character, the Red Hood. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like,
Yeah.
Just such a dark, interesting, intriguing character that we got out of that. So, that's what Denny wants you to think. Okay, that's fair. All right, here we are though. Moving on to our final segment of the show. It's fresh from the comic shop. Again, just send us those fresh gets. Tag us on the Instagrams. Think of the 3 things to compose this shot. Well composed shot, a unique book, and something that pulls at our heartstrings. Tell us a story. But again, if you want us to sing this to you, we got you. Don't you worry about it.
Fresh from the comic shop, your collection's treasures ready to pop. It's time to share, don't let it flop. Fresh from the comic shop, take a shot, make it bright, give it style and flair. Show a book that's unique, something rare out there. Tell us why it matters, what's the story behind. Pull at our heartstrings and you'll surely shine.
Sponsored by Crafty Comics, where collections flex their style. Museum quality slabs and displays with 99% UV protection, because your fresh gets deserve the spotlight.
That's right, fresh from the comic shop. And guys, we have a winner for February. So we're just going to get into it right now. The semifinals, February semifinals, we had supercrispy.comics over Raising Elm. So that set up Dr. Plagueis versus Super Crispy. And the winner for February is Dr. Plagueis. Congratulations. We got 85 votes right there. We got to fit the voting thing in. They always have to, do it differently each and every time because these pictures are always different. But congratulations, Dr. Plagueis. You are the winner for February. By the way, also going along the themes of like big events, like tonight was the Cannons. Obviously, the Oscars are trying to compete with us, but that's, you know what I mean? That's not really going to happen. But we have March Madness coming up. And with March Madness, we have our 2024 tournament, Book of the Year tournament. We like to do that with March Madness. So the tournament brackets will be released next week. Who is going up against who for our 12 winners last year. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to put that together. Yes, we're going to put that together. All right, moving on. Why don't we just get into it, shall we, Joe?
We shall.
We got Nukes Comics, who was a late submission last week, but he got, by the way, timeout. I got 2 things to say here. The submissions, everybody has taken them up a level. Would you agree, Joe? Like we have gotten some, I can't stand this phrase, but I don't know how else to describe it. Bangers. We have gotten some bangers of submissions. Like you guys have done an excellent job, and it's just taking it up a notch from like last year. 2, I really appreciate the fact that you've gotten them in earlier in the week. That helps so much. So if you guys get the fresh gets on Wednesday, if you can, please put them up on Wednesday or Thursday. Tag us in the picture and let us know. It helps immensely if we get those in earlier. So that's all I want to say about that. Moving on, we got Nukes Comics, who was late last week. Nukes, fresh from the comic shop. Amazing Spider-Man 350. The Black Fox has crossed the wrong person. What could he possibly have that would draw the attention of Dr. Doom? Can Spidey stop Doom before he destroys the Black Fox? Amazing action art by Eric Larson, plus a Doom versus Spider-Man fight. I couldn't pass this up while backbinning at DBS. Good stuff indeed. Yo, this cover is freaking awesome. I think it's very underrated. And there are a lot of issue 250s and 350s that feature Dr. Doom. I find that very interesting. But this one right here,
and
really
150
well done by Eric Larson. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, and issue 150. We have 150 X-Men 150, I think, has Doom.
See, it's a lot. It's very weird how that has worked out.
Well, he's a major character, and the 50s are kind of milestone issues, so it kind of makes sense.
That's fair. No, totally makes sense. Okay, you're right. I'm wrong. Moving on. Mike Haggs, serious shout out to my West Coast counterpart, Space Ferret Collectibles, for blessing me with a stack of books, including this issue 170, which I was definitely on the hunt for. First roadie is Iron Man, all because I said I'm actively collecting volume 1. I'm truly grateful, brother. Submitting this for Fresh from the Comic Shop for the Canon crew. Comic book canon. Thank you for the shout out. Joseph, what is your first fresh get of the week?
First fresh get of the week, man. This is a Copper Age Grail. This is a book that I keep coming across. I ended up getting this as part of a trade today with Brixco Comics, aka Paul Bond.
Paul Bond.
And I have the hiccups now because I'm very excited about this. We got a third printing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. Pretty nice copy too. A nicer side of mid-grade at least. I have a couple copies of this already, but yeah, can't ever have too much Turtles in your inventory. So this was part of a trade. This is not a keeper for me, but it's a book that I always get excited when I get one of the first 3 printings of that book. Which
Hell yeah! I mean, why not?
That have that cover, yeah.
Freaking Turtles, for goodness sakes! Moving on, we got Comic Demon, and I do like this cover right here. I couldn't wait to hear that they were releasing another Toxic story, so Buddy and I started reading this together. Great art with the changing of Toxie's origin story. I feel it won't affect the story really. I've not seen this issue. Obviously, it came out recently, I would say, but. Yeah, that movie is supposed to come out. It's been like 2 years it's supposed to come out, but I think finally this summer it will come out.
Picked up. There was like a limited release a while ago, but they didn't have anyone to like.
Oh, really? That's why?
That's what I heard. Something along those lines. Josh is saying no. Josh is saying no.
Oh, let's bring him in.
No, it didn't have a limited release. It's releasing this year. They finally found somebody, so it will be releasing this year.
Okay.
Interesting. Why don't you give us your fresh get of the week?
So my fresh get is this amazing 360 comic sticker that I got. You know how much I spent on this sticker?
To victory.
$300, people.
Fly,
Can you believe that?
Eagles fly.
All right.
Score a touchdown. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
We know, guys.
Hit 'em high and watch those Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly.
So my fresh get for tonight is Harley Quinn issue number
Eagles. Eagles.
Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
Sorry, my fresh get is Harley Quinn issue number 222, and this is I believe it's a variant. Should be. Yeah, great variant cover of Harley with the Dark Knight Batman. I love this cover. I just think it's really cool seeing Harley on the cover like that. So picked this up today for $5 from a local comic vendor. I felt like he was a bit overpriced, but not too bad.
Are you gonna name names, or does it start with a J and end with an O?
Well, you talking about the person, or you talking about his actual?
Never mind. Here's the deal. Is this fair to say? Like the craziest homage cover we get, like in terms of like how many times it's been done. Amazing Spider-Man 300. Do you think this comes in second?
By the amazing doctor over here? Check him out. Anything you need jock traps, you need thongs, you need thermoses, you need. No, he just does stickers. All right, maybe he just does stickers. I just want to say
stuff other than stickers, but I don't know about jock straps.
If he does, I want to get a comic book canon one. I want to put Jeff right in front and center.
All right, nobody answered my question, so we're gonna move on. I'm just gonna be spiteful to everybody here. We'll see you later, Joshua. Next up, we have Mark Leneker. We're celebrating the 90th anniversary of Donald Duck's first eponymously titled publication, Whitman Publishing, 1935. Mickey's nephews, Ferdinand and Mortimer. Oh, God. Their names are Ferdinand and Mortimer. Donald's nephews were still 2 years away. They go pond diving with Donald and teach him the difference between soft and hard water. This is now the oldest comic comic adjacent book in my collection. Joe, what are your thoughts on Ferdinand and Mortimer?
I really have no opinion.
I love I love the entry here, by the way. The fact that this is his oldest comic book too. And the fact that, again, it's another piece of history. He's always showing off some sort of piece of history. So well done there.
Love
Mark Leneker. I'm going to go with my first fresh get of the week. I'm only going to do 2. I have more, but why not? This is I got this for $8. Daredevil 11, first appearance of Echo.
Not first.
No?
No, not quite. It's her third appearance. I believe her first battle or first team up with Daredevil.
Okay. It's a key of some sort, and I can't remember why. However, I went to an amazing comic book shop this weekend for the first time in Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut, to be exact. It's Sucker Punch Comics. Really, really like what they do. That logo is pretty amazing. By the way, I also need to point out here, hey, good looking, what you have cooking. Can I take you home tonight, Jeff? Go Birds. That sounds like she's a lady for me, for sure. By the way, I just wanted to point that out, that my lady loves me. Moving on. Who do we have? We got Kate's Comics. Personality Comics presents Madonna #2 from 1991. Thank you so much, Movie Man 4-star, for this wonderful comic covering my favorite pop star, Madonna. What a comic to add to my PC. I was lucky enough to see Madonna in concert last year while she was on her celebration tour. She's still kicking ass. Here is this new comic along with my favorite record, Like a Virgin. And as an added bonus, Jimmy Palmiotti is one of my favorite creators, particularly with his work on Harley Quinn. I love this entry. Kate did an amazing job here. First of all, it's a well-composed shot, telling us what this book means, and I've never seen this book before. So, Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I do have a friend that actually collects personality comics, which are celebrity profiles and biographies and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever come across that one, so pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool there, Kate. That hits 3 things right there that we look for. Joseph, your second fresh get of the week.
Second fresh get of the week. This is a book. This is actually another book that I got in that trade with Paul today. This is, I'm going to cover the grade real quick because this thing is a beauty right here. Avengers #11, first meeting of Spider-Man and the Avengers. Obviously, arguably the biggest team in Marvel, them and the X-Men. You can argue either way. Meeting with the #1 character in Marvel Comics, Spider-Man, for the first time, early Silver Age, 1964 on this one. And this thing is a beauty. Paul actually bought this raw in a collection and said, this looks really good. I got to send this in. And he was right. Check this out.
Oh, wow.
9.2 on a Silver Age, pretty decent sized case. Stan Lee story, Jack Kirby cover. It checks all the boxes.
Very cool. Can I see that again? You said it's a Kirby cover, right?
It is a Kirby cover.
Looking amazing. That is just amazing. It's like in the Spider-Man's kind of in the style of Ditko too. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
Joe, I just saw some conflicting news here in terms of the Daredevil 11. It says the first appearance of Echo was Daredevil #9, but it also says 11. I'm confused. I never read the run. I heard this run's incredible, by the way. So I'm just going to have to do that. But I thought it was the first appearance, but it's, again, it's a very cool Dave Mack cover, by the way. I just want to point that out there. If anybody knows, let me know. All right, moving on. We got Nori Jordan. As many of you know, I have been on a long journey to obtain every Thunderbolts book possible. The last piece is finding a handful of rare newsstands, and luckily this week I was able to add some to my collection. These books are very rare with print runs below 1,000 copies. I was putting some thought into how I would show them off, and I realized I had the greatest newsstand resource only a few miles away. I took my books and visited a friend with a long family history in the newsstand business. This man is Rick Dente, and his family has operated Dente's Market since 1907. Rick is the third generation to run the store and has owned it since 1972. There's a lot of history to his store, and I was grateful he took some time to share his experience with me. His store for countless years has been known for selling every magazine, newspaper, and book imaginable. Times have changed, and magazines and news racks are a thing of the past. Rick continues to run the store selling antiques and other collectibles to keep the family tradition going. I had so much fun catching up with him, and he was grateful he honored my Thunderbolts newsstand by joining my picture. Take care, everyone. Yo, this hits a lot of the notes right here too. So well done there, Nori. I mean, it's a cool picture. It's got a great story, and those issues are rare if they're less than 1,000. Although I think the one on the left is not. I'm not going to question your Thunderbolts judgment, though. Not going to do that at all. I don't know if Joshua wants to show off his second fresh get. Is that a no?
I do it. I got a couple good ones. You know, we're speaking about variants earlier, and I will only pick up certain variants if it's an artist that I love, like Adam Hughes. And I did that. Harley Quinn 30th anniversary special, the Adam Hughes variant. And
Cool.
I love how it's the OG Harley, and it opens up to these different adaptions that we've had over the years of Harley Quinn, especially from Adam. And you know what? I think if I get a chance this year and he's at a con, I'm probably gonna get him to sign this. I think this thing's beautiful, and you know, a great book to have if you're an Adam Hughes fan. So
Yeah, that's very nice right there. Well done there, Joshua. Did you get that today?
yeah, I did. Yep.
Oh, you got some nice pickups there. Okay, all right. Moving on. Not you. Us. Oh, Joe's tired. We got to get this thing rolling. Next up, we have Raising Elm Comics. I love this picture, by the way. Howdy, comic fam. Check out what I found for $5 at my local comic shop the other day. X-Men issue 53, the first full appearance of Onslaught. Kind of a random pickup for me, but it's still cool. If I'm being completely honest, I wanted to find a book, an X-Men book in particular, because I really wanted to show off my new X-Men 97 button-up shirt from RSVLTS results, used as the background for the submission. Sick, right? What did you all find this week? Much love, comic fam. Now, I saw this, and I'm like, how is that a shirt? That makes no sense to me. So I asked him, please, let us see that shirt. Let us see you wearing that shirt. Boom. Look at that handsome man right there with his comic book collection in one of those file cabinet drawers with that beard, that manly beard. Justin, we love you. That is outstanding. Well done. It doesn't look like it's even on a shirt, does it? It looks like he has those trading cards laid out underneath it, but very cool submission for sure. All right. I'll do a fresh get. Why not?
Sure.
Why not? Again, at Sucker Punch Comics in Stamford, Connecticut. I like these later G.I. Joes after 100. And I got this one for $2.99 if it says $3.99. But this is G.I. Joe number 107. I love my G.I. Joe, guys. I absolutely love my G.I. Joe. Cool cover. I stopped reading around this time, but so I did not have this issue. But again, I appreciate it greatly. Who did this issue? Lee Weeks. Okay. All right, moving on. We have Real Caleb Leland, the birthday boy. Real Caleb Leland, who eats taco pizza for his birthday. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, comic fan, another birthday come and gone, and boy, did I have a great one. Unfortunately, my wife wasn't able to go out of town with me, but that just meant I could spend as much time at the LCS as I wanted. And only 2 months into the 2025 year, I pulled a second Scotty Young cover for the PC, featuring one of my favorite characters, Moon Knight. I really dig this cover, and although I paid cover price for it, high grades are already going for a good amount on eBay. Hey, props or flops, am I right? Wow, that's a blast from the past. Just wanted to say a true heartfelt thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday this past week, and here's hoping the next trip around the sun is even better. Much love with this submission for Fresh from the Comic Shop and Cheers. That's a very cool cover right there. I think Josh may have said that thing is going for a nice price too. All right, we're almost there. We have one more submission left to get to. Wait, is it what? No, one more. Yeah. Joseph, what is your third fresh get of the week? What do you got?
Third fresh get of the week. This is something you just don't see. In fact, I looked this book up on GPS. GPA, grade point analysis, which is in my opinion the best place to go for graded sales data. And there's never been a signed copy of this book sold on the public market that is captured on GPA. This is a golden age book signed by the cover artist. Awesome book, used in Seduction of the Innocent as well. This is Panic #1 from EC, signed. Unfortunately, it's signed on the interior, so you can't see it. But signed by Al Feldstein. Classic cover here. Santa coming down the chimney into a bear trap. Used in Seduction of the Innocent. Used in the Senate investigation hearings and banned in Massachusetts due to the cover scene and the Night Before Christmas poem, which was they changed some of the words. Let's say that. 5.5. And it is, in fact, a now verified signature. Al Feldstein died more than a decade ago, unfortunately. So he's one of the creators that is no longer with us. Very cool to have that. I originally bought it to sell it, but now that I have it in my possession, I'm just like, can I sell this? Like, I feel like this
the whole
has to
thing, like, that's right up your alley. I'm shocked to hear even
Yeah.
that you were thinking about selling it. That thing is you, and I'd be really upset for you if you did sell it, and I'm sure it's going to be a hard to get rid of. Not, I mean, for you to actually go through the process of selling it. All right, and we have tonight, final submission tonight is Kaboom Comics. Who's psyched about Daredevil? We all are. Woo! Comic book fam, awesome week. Found some really cool additions to my Daredevil collection. Because Daredevil is blind, I used to feel like him when I could draw before my cornea transplants. I would struggle with headaches and dizziness and lots of astigmatism. And I would not give up. I would keep drawing, working on my art. By the way, very talented artist, Kaboom. So never give up on the dreams or your goals you want to accomplish. I want to share this Daredevil, the Marvel Comics Index from 1982. Here's a few pics of the. He also added a few pics of the inside. Enjoy, family and community. Never give up. Your goals. Stay strong. Do like that submission right there, and I like how he relates to Daredevil. So we're gonna bring in the rest of the team here. Because there have been some fantastic submissions. That's what we've been saying this whole time. This year has really, you guys have really stepped it up a notch, and it's recognized. Also, again, I appreciate you all for getting those in earlier than Sundays.
I made a mistake, Jeff.
Here, Joe, and I'm sorry, what's that?
I made a mistake. I made a submission tonight, and I forgot to tag you guys in it.
That's what you don't want to do, because we'll never see it.
I know.
Way to go. Here we maybe we'll show it next week. But Joe and I have a job to do since we do not have a guest tonight. So there's 3 that stick out for me.
Me too.
4 actually. Jeez.
Ooh, 4. Okay.
There are 4.
Ooh.
Joe,
okay.
I started last week. You start this week.
Sure. One that definitely stuck out to me was Kate's Comics. Just something very unique, awesome, story behind it, awesome, importance to her and her collecting and stuff like that. Really great picture as well. We've got this little setup with the record and everything. Perfect.
Yeah, that's on my list too. Kate's for sure. It hits well composed, unique, and pulls at the heartstrings, tells us something interesting about the book. All right, I'm going to move on right now and say that Nori Jordan is one for me as well. I love the story. I love the fact that if these books are under 1,000 print run, they're hard to find. And the fact that he tied it into this story, this newsstand
Yep.
story or this
Mhm.
bookstore. I mean, I remember that's how I picked up books back in the day, was Maxine's Books and Tobacco. And why not pick up a pack of chew with your comic books when you're 10 years old? No, I didn't do that. But no, this resonates with me big time. So that's one of mine. I'm not sure if he fell into one of yours.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was another one. Just the fact that he went back to the spot and had the owner of the store in the picture. Just really, definitely a heartstring tugger right there.
For sure. All right, you have one. Actually, you have your last one, your third one.
Yeah, Mark Leneker always continues to bring the often golden age heat here. This book, it's just so recognizable. This the yellow cover and this big goofy looking Donald Duck before he kind of came to form in his physical appearance that we know today. This book stands out. In fact, it was actually at another copy of it was at the convention that I was at yesterday, ZoloCon, and I could see it from across the hall. It was just something that just it's also an oversized book. For those of you who don't know, this is not a comic size. It's not even a golden age comic size. It's honestly like magazine size, or maybe even slightly bigger than magazine size. It's a pretty big book. But yeah, this is it just stands out so much. And yeah, love the little background there too that Mark put on.
Yes, for sure. That was not on my list.
Okay.
It's really good. Raising Elms was on my list. Again, I just like the picture right there.
Very cool.
That was number 3. And as I said, I have a number 4 because Joe, you've already gone through all yours, right?
I did.
Okay. Number 4 for me is Kaboom. I
Yeah.
like the story. I like what he said about how he felt. It's interesting because for me, I related to Spider-Man. Spider-Man was my favorite character, is still my favorite character of all time. I got my ass kicked in high school. I was tiny. Now over, I'm 6 foot, so you guys don't have to worry about me anymore. I can handle my own. But with that said, yeah, I was the scrawny Parker. So knowing how he felt in terms of his vision, but still going for his dreams, I love it. I love what he says here. I love all about it. So again, this is becoming more difficult each and every day. Joe, we agreed on 2, so I think we have to kind of move on from the others. So
yeah, and I will say that Kaboom's was my, was also in the mix, and that was one that I cut. I always cut it down to 3, but Kaboom was definitely in the running. But yeah, we kind of agreed on 2 of them here. Kate's as well as
Nori Jordan was the other one, right?
Yeah, Nori Jordan. This is a really tough one. This is really hard. Both of them had a cool tie to their story, about their life and other things they enjoy. Both of them have obviously a well-composed shot, and both of these are unique. We have this this indie biography comic. We have this newsstand copies, which are especially from the 2000s, like they're 1% of the print run. Print run's probably under 1,000 copies, sometimes even scarcer than that. This might be one of the hardest ones that we've ever had.
As a judge, I'm not supposed to weigh in, but I want to throw something out here. We all love our comics, and especially when we bought them as children. The story that goes from the origin of where I got mine was a 7-Eleven in Oakland off a spinner rack. To this day, when I'm in that city, I pass by it. They don't no longer sell comics, but that's where that all started. So that's a special place for me. So the Nori Jordan one kind of hits home with me because
again, I probably know the smell of that place because again, Maxine's Book of Tobacco, where it's like it was just awesome. But it's a tough one, but I think I do have a decision.
What You have a decision as to which one of those two wins?
I mean, in my opinion, we both have to agree, and then the judge has to sign off on things.
This is tough. I'm really not sure which one I want to pick. Can I leave it up to you? Is that okay?
Ask the judge.
Yeah,
Judge,
that's fine.
I'm undecided on these two, honestly. This is really the hardest choice that I've had to make. So if Jeff's leaning one way or another, that can be the way to break that tie.
Yeah. Again, the reason I'm picking this person is because that the book is, I've never seen that book before. Like it's Kate's. That's who I would pick. That's why Kate's gets the edge over Nori.
Okay.
Nori, those are newsstands. Yes. I've seen those books before.
Sure.
I own the one on the left as well, the Thunderbolts, but Kate's is just, it's just a unique, really unique book, but it is really, really razor thin in terms of like the difference between those and who we would want to pick. So Judge, I present to you Kate's Comics as the first semifinalist in March.
That is an honest decision, and I'll go with it. Kate's Comics, you won for this week. Case dismissed.
Congratulations, Kate. You are moving on to the semifinals. You'll go up against next week's semifinalist. Everybody, this has been a very special presentation of the first inaugural annual first of the canons. And again, it was really a hodgepodge of shit I put together this morning, trying to get in touch with everybody and say, hey, this is what we're doing today. So it really didn't turn out that great, and that's my fault. But next year, we're going to plan for this for sure. But that's the fun we have with the canon, because we could just get creative and have fun with it. So that's one of the reasons I love doing this thing with you all, and you all love, you appreciate it. And again, you guys are the fuel that powers this ship, and we are very appreciative of you. So I'll just hand it off. Joe, you're next.
Yeah, busy week for me. Like we talked about last week, I had my Elite Comics 11 show last night, which I actually still have to do my invoices after this. So I'm kind of glad the show's ended a little bit early. I had Philly Comic Con today, and this is just the first of many cons over the next 2 months that I'll be doing. One Day Comic Expo, Lehigh Valley Comic Con, Super Jersey Comic Expo, King Con, and next weekend, Elite Comic Expo in New York City in Queens. Hope some of you can come out to any of those. It is. It's next Saturday and Sunday.
I'll probably try and make that one. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, come out, please. Hang out, say hi if you're in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area.
Absolutely. Mr. De La Torre.
This is hopefully the year for me to travel across the country to try to get as many cons as possible. I do plan on returning to San Diego Comic-Con. I've never been to the East Coast or the Midwest for cons. I hear they're great comic book venues. We'll see what happens, but that is my plan. I'm with Joe. I want to go to as many as possible while I still can.
Excellent. And Joshua.
Yeah, I'll be pretty much tagging along to most of the cons with Joe and helping him out and buying. So you'll see me there. And I just want to say, hey, great episode tonight. We already got some improvements. I got some plans in the work for next year to make the canon, something special. And thanks to everybody for tuning in and for the submissions. As always, you guys are making it really hard to make these two gentlemen above me pick winners. And the same thing happened last episode too. Is one of the best submissions we've had and a hard time picking. So keep them coming, even if you win. Keep making them.
Yep. Like and subscribe. Tell all your friends. Once again, we schedule all of these segments. We have the newsletter coming out tomorrow. Please subscribe to the newsletter. Every Monday it comes out, kind of summarizing the episode the previous day, as well as we drop these as shorts, the Did You Know and Pick of the Week. So share those with your friends as well. Cannot hurt because, everybody loves us. So once again, everybody, please be good to yourself. Be good to others. And we'll see you next week.